Thank you to everybody tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. And as usual, it is your boy, Mr. Rose. DJ, you gotta fade us all the way out because we gotta talk to the people. It is February 28th, and this is episode number 150. Hooray! Hooray! Yo, 150 episodes. I just want to thank each and every one of you that tune into all of the episodes. If you've been here from day one, way back in 2022 when we started, I just want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with us. And also, thank you for everybody who has joined along the way. Our last episode we hit, this episode we've hit 2 milestones. So we've hit the 150 episode mark. And did you know that 80% of podcasts die by episode 7? Yeah, it's called pod fade. So typically people tend to start their podcasts and then, it usually takes about 7 episodes where they realize, oh wow, this is a lot of work and we're not getting the traction that we thought we were going to be getting, In the age of social media where, you post something and you get maybe you get 1,000 impressions, you might get 100 likes, and you feel like, oh wow, okay, this thing is going somewhere. When people tend to start a podcast, I think the average podcast gets about 20 downloads. I mean, not the average podcast, but I'll pull up the stat for you just now. But the average podcast, especially when people are starting, I'm just pulling it up right now. Let's see. So the average, look at this, right? When I say the average, the top 50% of podcasts within the first 7 days get 31 downloads. All right. So when people are getting all these likes and instant gratification from social media, you start a podcast and you realize, oh wow, 31 downloads in the first 7 days. And that's 50% of podcasts. This is not for me. Maybe it's not worth the effort. And yeah, by episode 7, they go bye-bye. All right. So we are at 150 episodes, so that's a milestone that we have hit. And the second milestone that we have hit is that we have crossed the 30,000 download threshold. Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is also the first podcast where we are recording the video to it as well. So we're going to have the video for YouTube, and then we're going to have the audio for the audio-only family. And I think this is going to be the format that we do moving forward. I did say that this year I wanted to double down on video. And it's all about, working smart and trying to do this thing, create a product that has the value in terms of the content, but I also wanted the quality to be there. And ever since I picked up the DJI Pocket 3, I've been doing a lot more video because it's been a phenomenal workhorse. The quality that you get from it, with the attachment of the DJI Mic 2s, giving you some amazing audio quality. And then I've really been doubling down on CapCut for desktop. So I've been editing all of my social media content, my video content inside of CapCut for desktop. And that has been an absolute lifesaver. Listen, right now, they're giving you every single thing for free inside of CapCut. It's the best free editor right now. So you've probably been using CapCut on your phone, but CapCut for desktop just makes life so much easier. And then with the DJI, I could either, I have the app so I can connect it to my phone and download whatever video I've recorded and edit on my phone, or I just pop out the memory card and throw it in my computer and start to work in editing on the video footage. So that has really been, a lifesaver for me. And I'm all about, when I could scale, I usually scale because I have the right tech and I have the right apps and I have the right processes that allows me to create so much more content, than the average Joe. So the DJI Pocket 3 has been a lifesaver. I am loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So what are we doing today? What is today's episode all about? Right? What is today's episode all about? Today we're going to be talking about the future of content marketing for businesses. Yeah? The future of content marketing for businesses. I think this is a really good conversation to be having right now because I think so much has changed over the last year to 6 months. And when I look around and see the types of content that businesses are creating, it's really all the same. Like like nothing's really changed. Caribbean businesses really are not stepping their content game up. They're not experimenting with content. However, you are seeing a lot of the Caribbean content creators doing a lot more collaborations. They're experimenting with their content and they're trying to push the needle forward. But the Caribbean content creators typically that are doing a good job are usually all trying to make skits, right? A lot of the comedians are jumping up and doing their content, but again, a lot of skits that they're putting up. Again, nothing wrong with that. That's their space. But when it comes to the business community, not really seeing much changes happening within the business community and how they're creating content. So yeah, let's talk about the future of content marketing for businesses, right? Let's dive right into that. So in this rapidly evolving world of content marketing, businesses constantly strive to capture the attention of their audiences. However, a new notable challenge has emerged: the saturation of strikingly similar content across a variety of brands. This has not only made it increasingly difficult for companies to stand out, but it also has led to a growing appetite amongst consumers for content that's not just informative, but genuinely engaging and authentic. So there was a quote that I read the other day from Melanie, Deziel of the Creator Kitchen, and she says, in 2024, what content marketers need to do to stand out is to practice bringing out our most human selves at work. We need to show up with vulnerability, transparency, and candor, end quote. So nowadays, online users are drawn to authentic engagement, right? They yearn for a human connection through their devices, preferring content that is honest, and get this, unedited, over highly or overly produced videos. And what do you think all the businesses tend to do? They tend to only put out these overly produced videos because they're still treating it like the ad world, and they throw that on social media and then they wonder why they're not getting the reach or the traction that they want without spending a whole heap of money behind it in boosting the content. So this movement is driven by a quest for authenticity, a longing to interact with genuine individuals rather than manicured images. So we're going to talk about the 5 types of content that your audience wants to see from your business in 2024. So we're going to start with number 1, behind the scenes content. And that's a big one. I can't believe we still don't have the majority of our businesses shooting behind the scenes content. And you know why a lot of them don't shoot behind the scenes content? It's because many of the businesses, they still operate that, hey, I don't want to let my competitors know what we're doing differently. I don't want them to know what we're doing. I don't want them to, listen, no one's telling you to show your secret sauce, right? If you're working in KFC, you can't show the 12 secret herbs and spices. You can't show that, right? You can't show that you're putting in oregano, parsley, rosemary. You can't show all them things, what the seasonings are. But you could show the behind the scenes of how things get made, right? You could show the day in the life of a KFC worker. You can show a lot of these things. And that's the type of stuff that people want to see. If you make soap, people want to see. Take us through the day in the life. Take us through the behind the scenes process of you making soap. So the effectiveness of behind the scenes content lies in the ability to showcase the real processes. Excuse me. That's sort of thing with video. Like usually if I have to cough, I would just mute myself or press pause on my audio and cough. We're shooting videos, so we're giving you the behind the scenes of everything that goes. We're giving you the behind the scenes of everything that goes into me recording a podcast. I'm not gonna hit mute, I'm not gonna hit pause. We're just gonna keep on rolling, right? So you might even see me take a sip of some water. But anyways, the ability to showcase the real processes and people behind the brand, that's the secret, right? By pulling back the curtain, companies can offer a unique glimpse into the everyday workings, challenges, and triumphs that occur out of the public eye. So this approach not only humanizes the brand, making it more relatable and trustworthy to consumers, but also fosters a deeper connection by allowing audiences to feel like they are a part of the journey. Through the lens of authenticity, behind-the-scenes content becomes a powerful tool in building the brand loyalty and engagement as it reveals the heart and soul of a company beyond its products and services. We want to see the behind the scenes, and that makes for great content. You don't know what to shoot? Not a problem. If you start to record your behind the scenes of how the day-to-day business operations get done, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be watching the content because they like it and it's escapism for them. But then there's going to be people who may be trying to get into your industry, and them watching your behind the scenes content, they kind of get an idea as to how the industry works. Maybe they want to come and work for your company. So this gives them a glimpse into the company culture that happens at your organization. This is a great way for them to gauge whether or not this is a company that they would love to work for. So you might start attracting better talent by showcasing them behind the scenes, but then for your clients, so your audience, they get to escape into your content. And again, this becomes now a nice learning mechanism, build that deeper relationship with the business. And now, people might be more, they might feel more, what's the word I want to use? They will want to do business with you. It's either going to repel them, right? Or it's going to attract the right audience to you. And I mean, that's all well and good, right? When you repel people through your content, you always end up with the best consumers for your business, all right? Your content allows people to qualify themselves, and that's one of the biggest things that content does in general. So start showcasing the behind the scenes. We want to see it, and that makes for great social media content. That makes for great YouTube content, right? All that is good stuff. Rather than you just doing the same old, rinse and repeat. Here's the product. And you take a picture and post it, or you have a sales rep who is comfortable on camera, and all they do is walk around talking about the products. And not even in an informative way. It's just in a very hard salesy way. So over here, we got the new Audio-Technica 2100X. Oh, and over here, we also sell water. Check this out. Oh, and we also sell watches. Come on down to Rose's Pharmacy Plus, where you can get everything under the sun. That's typically all we ever see, right? So behind the scenes content is a big one. Again, we're talking the future of content marketing. Behind the scenes content is a major one that people want to see. The second type of content that is doing really well on social media for businesses is live unfiltered reactions. So live unfiltered interactions, not reactions. Live unfiltered interactions through videos and real-time audience engagement have a profound impact on building trust and loyalty amongst your consumers. This format allows brands to communicate directly and spontaneously, breaking down the barriers that typically exist between a company and its audience. The immediacy of live interactions fosters a sense of intimacy and inclusivity, making viewers feel as though they are part of this exclusive conversation. These genuine interactions can significantly boost audiences' trust as they provide a transparent view of the brand, free from the possibility of post-production alterations, and moreover, the ability to respond to viewer comments and questions in real time demonstrates a brand's commitment to its audience, further cementing the relationship and enhancing the loyalty. This dynamic exchange not only humanizes the brand, but also creates a community of engaged followers eager to interact and participate in future live events. So folks, go live. Go live. Live video is still huge, right? And if you want to sell products, start looking at how QVC used to sell their products back in the day, because live video and QVC have pretty much combined. When you think about platforms like Amazon Live Shopping, it's pretty much QVC, but now it's live with the specific brand, talking about the products, talking about the services, allowing people the opportunity to jump in the live and ask the types of questions that they would like to ask, right? That's a great way to build that community and to foster engagement. Go live. And when you go live, have a topic. Let people know that, hey, we go live once a week, and every single week it's a different topic. Every single week we're talking about different products. We're talking about different problems that people are facing within our space. Go live. Give people the opportunity to interact with your brand, comment, react, have that two-way conversation. And again, that's a great way to start building your brand loyalty. How often do you see brands going live? Really and truly. Think about it, right? They did it. Brands did that during the pandemic. I've seen a lot of brands go live and create live series during the pandemic. Now they've kind of gotten away from it. But I think now is a good time, especially on TikTok. Man, listen, funny enough, I don't see as much lives on Facebook outside of like events. Like if it's an event, I see a lot of events go live on Facebook. Instagram lives, I don't see many, especially Caribbean businesses. I don't really see Caribbean businesses going live at all on any platform, but Instagram, no. The people I still see going live on Instagram are a lot of the specialists that I follow still go live, and again, they still have their topics and they're still dropping their lives on Instagram. Heck, I haven't gone live on Instagram in particular in a while. But where I see a lot of people are going live now is on TikTok. TikTok lives have been taken over. I don't know what it is. Actually, you know what? I do know what it is. People are gaining their followings on TikTok faster than any other platform. So there's more incentive to go live on TikTok. But lives on TikTok are happening through, and like I said, lives on Amazon Shopping, Amazon's platform, they are killing it as well. So brands, start going live, right? Start that TikTok. I see more brands than ever in the Caribbean are starting their TikTok channels. The content is still very salesy. We got to get away from that. But go live over on TikTok. If you have an audience there, start going live and start thinking about the types of topics that you can cover once a week. And again, let people know what the live schedule is, for the month ahead, and let people join in when they're ready to join in and whatever questions they have to ask. Again, great opportunity for you to build that engagement and answer all of their questions through live videos. So do it over on TikTok. Experiment and see if it's worthwhile over on Instagram. And don't forget, the number one social media platform in the world and in the Caribbean is still Facebook. They just dropped the digital data reports for 2024 that cover the entire year of 2023, obviously. And yeah, Facebook is still the number one social media platform. TikTok is number 2, right? So again, still Facebook is a big platform to be building on. The third type of content you can start to build or start to create if you are interested in really doing well on social media. Let me take a sip of this water. Hold on 1 second, please. Yeah, usually I would have hit the pause on the audio and drank it, but we're on video and too much hassle to do all that. So you guys are getting everything unfiltered. So the third type of content that businesses can start to create is personal stories and testimonials. So the power of personal narratives and customer testimonials lies in their ability to humanize a brand, transforming it from a faceless entity into a relatable character with stories and experiences that resonate with its audience. And by sharing personal stories, whether they're from the brand's founders, the employees, or satisfied consumers, a company can forge emotional connections that transcend the traditional buyer-seller relationship. Testimonials in particular serve as endorsements, authentic endorsements when done correctly, showcasing real-life applications and the impact of brands, products, or services on individuals' lives. So what you want to start to advocate for is you want to start to get UGC, user-generated content. You want to start to incentivize your audience to create content, to create video reviews of them checking out the products, them putting it to use and having them send it over, because UGC content is some of the best content right now, right? It serves as a testimonial, right? They're using the product and they're giving their feedback, and people trust people, right? So that's really good content. I mean, that's a really good way to start incentivizing people to generate UGC content on their own, right? Maybe you do a giveaway every single month. Hey, best video, wins a $1,000 coupon or something. I don't know, right? But figure out a way to incentivize people to create user-generated content for you and then send it over to the brand. But then also do your absolute best to start getting testimonials from your clients, right? Start getting your testimonials. Contact people. Ask them if they could interview you real quick for social media, and send somebody, either have them come to the office or meet them somewhere public, and shoot a testimonial about your product or service. Again, all of these things are what people want to see when they're visiting a brand social media platform, right? So if they can see people utilizing your products and services through UGC content, and maybe again, you've incentivized people to start creating those things and then sending them over to you so you could post on social media, or it can be posted as a collaboration, so you guys both sharing to each other's audience. That's always a good thing to do. Or again, start collecting those testimonials so that you get the social proof that you need. It also gives, shines a spotlight on your consumers, and typically they love that. They love to be recognized, right? But then you also get that social proof that your product and your services are working. So again, go and get your UGC content, incentivize that, absolutely, and start thinking about how you guys can go and collect your testimonials. Always try to get your video testimonials first, because video content is what performs the best on social media. So if you can get your video content, great. If you can't, no problem. Remember, carousels are still the second best performing content on social media as well, especially if you're talking about Instagram, right? You would have realized that TikTok over the past couple of months, they've added the carousel feature as well. So always think, video first, carousel second, and then it kind of goes down the line from there. But those really are the two top best performing pieces of content, okay? So keep that in mind. Personal stories, testimonials, UGC content. People want to see that social proof. The fourth type of content that people want to see is community engagement and impact. And we're talking about the future of content marketing for businesses People want to support brands that are supporting them, that are supporting their communities. So brands that actively participate in and contribute to their communities not only reinforce their values, but they also foster a sense of belonging amongst consumers. By supporting local initiatives and driving positive change, these brands build a shared identity with their audience, deepening the emotional connections and inspiring loyalty. This strategy transforms the brand from a simple provider into a valued community member, enhancing the unity and engagement with its consumers. So we all know that most companies have their corporate social responsibility. Make sure you guys are capturing the footage from all of the work that you guys are doing in the community, right? Let people know how they can potentially engage with your brand in your community projects, but then also capture the footage and let people know exactly what you guys are doing, because again, that also makes for good content as well. And I guess the trick is, right, because this is a tricky one. If it's overly produced, then it comes off as fake and people don't buy into it. Right? You need to start doing if you're in the community and you're recording content, it's gotta be more vlog style, and it can't feel like this was a produced commercial. And I think you guys know exactly what I mean. If it feels like a produced commercial, that you guys are doing all of this social good and you guys are this perfect, loving company, then people start to feel like, yo, this company's not real. But the reality is, you guys are still doing a good. You guys are still in the community doing things, investing in the community, all right? And you still need to showcase it. So I'm here thinking, if you stop with the overly produced content of you guys doing your social good, and you start doing it more vlog style, I would probably also incentivize the employees, the people that are going to be on site and part of whatever the initiative is, incentivize them to create content as well. Heck, people don't even realize, like, half of your employees are content creators as well. Amateur content creators, no problem, but everybody has social media. And typically the majority of them are creating content. Even if it's just the friends and family and taking pictures of what they're doing, incentivize people to create that content, right? Rather than spending all that money on hiring an entire videography team, unless this is for, your website or something like that, where you guys need to get this done and post it to your website as, cataloging some of the good that you do, I would vlog style it, right? I would invest in the necessary equipment to do some vlogs, right? And start vlog styling the corporate social responsibility, and also incentivize your employees to create content and spread the word about the work that's being done on that day, and have them shoot the content, from their eyes, from their perspectives, and, reshare that. Again, have them collaborate. If you're posting on Instagram, have them collaborate with the company, right? It just needs to feel more authentic, and it needs to get away from feeling like this overly produced commercial about how good you guys are and all the good you guys do and you guys are a perfect company. Nah, start making it feel more authentic. And I think you can do that through vlog style content of the community initiatives, and it also just incentivizing your employees to create content, in their own way, have them post it up and incentivize it, right? Maybe give out some top 3 best pieces of content. You give out some I don't know, a voucher, something, right? But incentivize it. Encourage people to create that content, tag the company or collaborate with the company and get that stuff up there. That's the type of content that people want to see, and it's way more believable than, again, you hiring an entire film crew and you guys filming, oh, look, we're in the community and we're giving out food, and it just doesn't come off, even though you guys are doing a good, it doesn't always come off as authentic, right? So that's what we're trying to, inject into your content for your businesses moving forward. And the fifth piece of content, or the fifth way to kind of build on social media when it comes to content for business owners, especially here in the Caribbean, is leveraging AI for accessibility and inclusion. So leveraging AI for enhancing content accessibility plays a critical role in promoting inclusivity, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their abilities, can engage with your content. So automatically, every single video should have closed captioning, and that's a prime example of how AI can break the barriers to access. The technology enables people who are deaf or hard of hearing to experience the videos, the live streams, and audio-visual content, which they might otherwise miss out on. So by providing accurate and real-time transcriptions, AI ensures that content is not only accessible but also inclusive, catering to a diverse audience with different needs. The importance of such advancements goes beyond compliance with accessibility standards. It reflects a commitment to creating an inclusive digital environment where all users feel valued and included. And in doing so, brands not only broaden their reach, but they also demonstrate social responsibility, fostering a more inclusive society. So there's a bunch of tools, there's a bunch of AI tools out now that have made it so much easier to do things like including captions into your content. Matter of fact, if you use CapCut, right? CapCut uses AI for their captioning, and it's like 95% accurate, right? With that 5%, I go in and I might change some words and whatnot, but for the most part, CapCut has been a dream tool when it comes to adding in captions into the content. You also have, within CapCut, they have their new AI editor as well. So you can, throw in a bunch of clips and a bunch of images and use their AI editor to make up the video content. Again, AI, when it comes to creating content and building your brand, has been an absolute lifesaver. So, what I would do, right, and this is just another example of AI, is just like how so what I did, right, was I actually wrote an article, right? I wrote an article on the future of content marketing in business, right? And because I wrote it out, that has now kind of formulated my script for the video, right? And this particular article, I am giving to the media houses for print, and they're gonna publish it online, right? But this is what I do. Once I have that in front of me and I'm working from that and I now create the podcast, I know that even though I have a script, quote unquote, in front of me, right, and I'm working from that, I know with the podcast, I'm always going to be adding things in, and it's going to be very different than what you would have read in an article, right? An article is limited by, however many words we put in a column. But typically, my podcast episodes are about an hour in length, right? So then what I can do is, after I've recorded the podcast episode, I then go into another tool that uses AI called Descript, and it's going to transcribe the entire podcast, right? And now I can transcribe it. I could run it into Google Gemini, or I could run it through ChatGPT, and I can now turn this into a very different article for my website. So the media houses get a write-up. My podcast family, they get another piece of content. But then I can now get this transcribed, have ChatGPT or Google Gemini take the transcription and everything that I would have said, because again, there's going to be things I'm going to add into the podcast that's not in the article, right? I can now turn this into a new article, and then I can upload that to my website as a blog or an article from my website, and that's going to have a different feel with additional content inside of that. But again, there's just so many things that you guys can do now with AI tools, right? I'm going to shout out my guy Jared Best Mitchell, right? He did something the other day that, again, people aren't thinking about, but we've had the ability to do this for a while. So what Jared Best Mitchell did with his content the other day was he has a tool called Shield Analytics for LinkedIn, right? He got the report of all of his analytics for the past year. He copied everything into ChatGPT, and he asked ChatGPT to analyze the analytics and come up with the best practices to get the best performing content and a strategy for him moving forward. ChatGPT analyzed all of the data from Shield Analytics and gave him a content plan based on his data. It told him the best days what days to post, the times to post, the type of content to post on each day, all based on the best performing analytics all of that based on the analytics from Shield. It now gave him what to do moving forward. Again, another great way of utilizing AI. Shout out to Jared Best Mitchell for that, right? So there's a wide variety of ways that AI could be used in content that businesses are not leveraging, right? So when it comes to the future of content for 2024 for businesses, it hinges on authenticity, personalization, and inclusivity, with AI playing a pivotal role in enhancing these elements. Strategies such as genuine content, live interactions, personal narratives, community involvement, and AI-driven accessibility are going to be critical for brands seeking to connect deeply with their audiences. These approaches not only humanize the brand, but they also ensure inclusivity, fostering loyalty and a sense of community. As the digital landscape evolves, brands that embrace these values will not only differentiate themselves, but also forge lasting relationships with their consumers. Folks, that is what you got to do if you want to build in 2024, all right? What I will also add in as well is businesses need to start figuring out how they can create multiple pieces of content at scale. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts. There's no one piece of content that is going to get the job done. You as a business, you need to figure out how can we create multiple pieces of content at scale. What does that look like? Look, for example, I just told you that I wrote an article for my column, right? That's going to be in media. That's going to get uploaded to their websites. That's now going to be shared through Apple News, which is the largest news platform in the world, Google News, and all of the other news applications. I then took the same column that I wrote about. I've now turned it into a podcast episode with additional insights. Again, because there are going to be people that prefer to listen to the podcast. And remember, people learn in three ways. They learn through written, they learn through audio, and they learn through visual. And then, whilst recording the podcast, I also have the Pocket 3 going. I'm mic'd up as well, and we are now recording the video. So we have the written content for the media houses. We have the podcast being recorded for the podcast family. We're also recording video for the people who love visual content. And then we're going to cut out clips. We're going to chop up clips of the video. And that's going to be now social media content to promote the long form video that's on YouTube and also promote the podcast, right? So you see how this works? This is what we mean by creating content at scale. You need to do it fast. You need to be able to do it as affordable as possible. How much is it costing me to create all of this? Nothing. It's costing me my time to create it. I've already bought the tools. The tools have already paid for themselves, right? The tools have already paid for themselves, right? So now, the tools have already paid for themselves. Me creating the content, the only thing it's costing me is my time. And this is why businesses need to learn how to create content at scale. Okay? That's the bonus one. That's the bonus tip for this episode. But yes, tell me, how are you feeling about the future of content marketing? Are you going to be taking the 5 tips, the 5 types of content to create? Are you going to be implementing them into your business? And if you are, which ones? Which ones struck home? Which ones can you see yourself doing? I know everybody should be able to do behind the scenes. Figure out how to do it. And if you're talking sensitive stuff, you know, maybe you just shoot clips with no audio to your video content, and maybe you have a little write-up as to what is happening inside of the video, a little caption to kind of highlight what's inside of the video, right? That's always good. Figure it out. There's so many ways to do this, right? There's so many ways to do this behind the scenes content. And everybody can, right? Everybody can. And again, if you can't showcase you working with customers, showcase you doing things on your own, by yourself, right? So let me know which one you guys like, which one you guys are going to be implementing. I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to hear from you, all right? So this was episode number 150. If you guys liked today's episode, please don't forget to rate and review the podcast wherever you are listening to the podcast from. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, because now YouTube has YouTube podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the podcast, please rate the podcast. If you happen to be watching this over on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to drop a comment below. Let me know how you guys enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget, you guys can follow me over on Keron Rose on all social media platforms. That's KERON ROSC across every social media platform. You can also Google me to stay up to date on all things happening with me. Don't forget to check out the KeronRose.com website. Link to that in the show notes and in the YouTube description as well. To learn more about building your digital presence and monetizing your platforms. And last but not least, don't forget to check out the Digipreneur FM website to stay up to date with all things related to the podcast. So that is it from me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. That was episode number 150. And take care. Thank you for tuning into today's podcast and vlogcast. Like, subscribe, drop the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.